Don't forget to check back over the next few days for these Thanksgiving recipes. Hi everyone! I'd like to take a minute before we get started to talk to you about adoption. If you're not interested, please go to the description below and under chapters click the Let's Get Cooking link. It'll take you right to the cooking. As some of you may or may not know, our son Nathan is adopted. So adoption is something near and dear to our family's heart. And November is National Adoption Month. Before each video this month, I'm going to share with you a video that promotes a hopeful adoptive family from an adoption support group that my wife and I are part of. The group helps families pre- and post-adoption with questions, emotional support, friendship. It's a great group. Most of these families are going down the path of what's called private adoption. Private adoption is where you promote yourself, whether it be in social media, print advertisements in newspapers, or other online venues, in the hopes that an expectant mother who is thinking about placing their child for adoption finds the match with their hopeful adoptive family. Please watch this video, and if you know somebody who's expecting and thinking about placing the child for adoption, please share this video with them. There's also a link in the description below to this hopeful family's website. Hello and welcome to Ben's Ramblings, recipes, reviews, and ramblings. It's a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. We're getting in that holiday spirit and we're going to do a bunch of recipes that are perfect for Thanksgiving. Today, we're going to do a fried turkey, and the next couple episodes will be a bunch of sides to go with it. Let's get started making the brine, and tomorrow we'll throw it in the deep fryer. To start, I have 1.5 gallons of water, which I've already heated up on the stovetop. It's hot. It's not boiling. To that, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of kosher salt, 1.5 cups of brown sugar, and 1.5 tablespoons of black peppercorns. We're going to get this all stirred up, and then we're going to put it in a cooler. We're going to use the cooler to brine the turkey. Okay, let's get it stirred up. And we're brining it because we want it to stay nice and juicy. And the brown sugar will add a little sweetness to the meat. The deep fryer is great at keeping the turkey really moist anyways, but the salt will soak into that skin, add a lot of flavor, because once it's fried, you can't really add anything to it. I don't care for injecting my turkey. I know a lot of people do a Cajun style deep fried turkey. They inject butter with Cajun seasoning, all kinds of stuff. I like mine nice and simple. We've been doing fried turkeys for a long time. And the other thing is, a lot of people like to fry with peanut oil. And I don't really care for peanut oil. I don't care for the taste it gives the turkey. A lot of people say they can't taste it. I taste the nuttiness. I have used cottonseed oil. That's great. We're just going to use soy or vegetable oil tomorrow. Everything is nice and dissolved. That's the main thing. Just make sure all your sugar and your salt are dissolved. So I'm scraping the bottom. It's actually a little bit more, so we'll stir this around a little more. Then we'll put it in the cooler. And because it is hot, we're going to add a lot of ice. A 5-pound bag would be perfect. I'm just going to actually put in ice from my ice maker in the from my freezer. I actually just pulled the whole ice tray out, and we're just going to dump it into the cooler. That looks great. Move this out of the way. Here's the cooler we're going to use. I use this cooler a lot for cooking. I use it for sous vide. I use it when I'm smoking meat. I'll use it as a false camber. I'll take the meat, wrap it in butcher paper or tin foil, then wrap that in some towels and then throw it in here. It doesn't get used really for picnics or anything like that. It's primarily used for cooking. So I washed it out really good a few minutes ago, and now I'm going to add the brine. Here's my whole ice tray. I'm just gonna carefully dump ice in. We'll just stir it around. We want to make sure the temperature on this comes down. We don't want it, basically there should still be some ice in here when we put the turkey in to make sure it's not too warm. That's perfect. There's still some ice not completely melted in here. I'm going to take the turkey, I'll show it to you. We're going to put it in the brine, and then if you wanted, you could add a lot more ice and just leave it in the cooler overnight. We're actually going to take this, and I have room in my fridge downstairs. I'm going to put the whole cooler right in the fridge, so I'm not worried about getting this freezing cold. I'll throw it in the fridge and it'll be good. Here's our turkey. It's a small turkey. When you're deep frying turkeys, typically you don't want anything much bigger than 13, maybe 14 pounds. This one's right at 12. It's like 11.95 or something like that. It's a Murray's, so you know, good quality turkey. And I'm just going to take it and put it in the brine. There was a popper on this, and I took it out. And that's perfect. It just covers, the brine just covers it by an inch or so. All right. Not sure if you can see that there, but there's the turkey in with the brine. I'm going to take this, put it in the fridge overnight. Tomorrow I'll take it out. I will rinse it so it's not super salty, and we'll get it in the deep fryer. See you tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. We've got the pot over here. I'm heating up the oil. There's almost 5 full gallons of oil in here. Once the oil's up to about 350, 375, I'll go inside, get the turkey. The turkey's already on the, this turkey fryer has almost like a T that it goes into. There's a rod that goes up through the middle of the turkey. It keeps the turkey vertical. I'll get that in a few minutes. We'll lower everything down into the oil. You also want to have a fire extinguisher. I actually had to go grab a new fire extinguisher today. I went and took a look at our fire extinguisher, and it was empty. It needed to be recharged. So went and picked up a new fire extinguisher before we started. You can't put out burning oil with the water. So you want to make sure you have a type B, which is for flammable liquids. There's different types of fire extinguishers, A, B, and C. A is for paper, wood, that sort of thing. B is liquid flammables, and C is electrical. This is an A, B, C. It does all of them, but the main thing when you're doing the frying is to make sure that it does B. So we're all set. Leave this right here next to me. The oil's almost up to 225. Another 10 minutes or so should be up around 350, and we'll get that turkey in. So oil's up to temp. We're going to get the turkey in. The main thing when you put the turkey in is to have the burner off. If for some reason the oil does bubble over, if that burner's on, you're going to have a giant fireball. I'll try to post some videos. You'll see what it looks like. It's crazy. You want to be extra careful. So my turkey burner, my turkey fryer has actually an electronic valve and ignition. So I can just flip a switch. So that's it, I shut the switch off. The heat is off. I'm gonna take my lid off and move it out of the way. I'm gonna put on my long, heavy lined rubber gloves. These are made specifically to use with a turkey fryer like this. Some people like to lower their turkeys in using a stick or something like that. I feel I have much more control doing it myself. I've been doing this for a long time. It's just, you really have to be cautious. Lower a little bit at a time. You want to make sure your oil is not over the maximum fill level. Let's get the turkey in the fryer. Okay. I'm gonna lower it in very slowly. You wanna make sure the skin on the turkey is very dry, and you wanna make sure the cavity is dry. Lower it in a little bit. It's gonna start to boil up. If necessary, pull it back out. The main thing is making sure it doesn't boil over. The oil's getting really active. I'm going to pull the turkey out a little bit. Let some of that moisture cook off. Okay, lower it slowly. Pull it out a little again. Pull it up a little. It's just being patient with it, making sure most of that bubbling stops before you put it all the way in. You want to make sure you're wearing old clothes, obviously. You're going to stink like grease. Oh, splattering. I'm going to pull it out a little bit. And that's it. I'm going to let it bubble a little longer before I turn the burner back on. I want it to calm down a little bit more. But it's all the way in now. Once we get it back up to temperature, about 350 degrees, it's 3.5 minutes a pound. So this is a 12-pound turkey. It's going to be 42 minutes. I'll let it go 45, just a little bit extra, make sure it's all done. All right, that's not too bad. I'm going to throw the lid back on and get the fire going again. And that's it. We'll see you in 45 minutes. The turkey's been in for 45 minutes. I'm going to shut the flame off, take the turkey out, and check the temperature in the thighs and make sure we're up to temperature. You gotta make sure you let all of the oil drain from the cavity. And that's what a fried turkey looks like. All right, I'm gonna take it in the house. We'll see how it looks. All right, I'm gonna carve some of this up. We'll see how it looks. It's been resting for about 25 minutes or so. You wanna let it rest at least 20 minutes, if not a half an hour. Look how nice and juicy that is. Still piping hot. Perfect. We'll give it a try in a few minutes. Don't forget to check back over the next few days for these Thanksgiving recipes. All right, here's our full plate. The fried turkey, our beef and ground pork stuffing, our homemade cranberry sauce, and our cornbread. Let's give the turkey a try. Here's the turkey. Nice and tender. That brine we did overnight. Nice little bit of salt. The brine we did overnight gives it a nice little bit of salt. It's perfect. Nice and tender, juicy. Absolutely great. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you like these recipes, give them a thumbs up.
Mommy, is it Thanksgiving?
Not yet.
Don't forget to comment down below. If you make any of these recipes, let me know how they are. And as always, don't forget, subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of more recipes like these.
Ding ding!
See you next time. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, Daddy.
Thank you, baby.